One of the most significant reasons so many intelligent men remain single is because of their high standards and inherently selective nature. Intelligent men tend to think deeply about every aspect of their lives, including their relationships. They are not easily swayed by surface-level attractions or fleeting emotions. Instead, they seek depth, substance, and alignment of values. This high level of discernment often makes them very particular about who they allow into their inner world. When an intelligent man meets someone, he doesn't just see what is on the outside, he observes character, mindset, habits, and the direction that person's life is headed. It's not that he's overly critical or impossible to please, but rather that he has spent years shaping himself, refining his goals, and cultivating his inner world. Naturally, he wants a partner who matches that energy. This can make dating difficult, especially in a modern world that often prioritizes temporary connections over long-term growth. Such men are usually very aware of what they bring to the table. They've invested in themselves mentally, emotionally, financially, and even spiritually. This self-awareness means they won't settle for someone who isn't equally invested in their own growth. It's not about perfection, but about alignment. They don't expect someone to be flawless, but they do expect effort, maturity, and a shared vision for the future. Unfortunately, finding a person with these qualities isn't easy. So instead of jumping from relationship to relationship just to avoid being alone, intelligent men often choose to remain single until they find someone who truly resonates with them. This selective nature also stems from a desire to avoid unnecessary pain. Intelligent men tend to think long-term, and they understand the emotional and mental toll a mismatched relationship can take. They've likely seen friends or family go through toxic relationships, bitter divorces, or one-sided commitments. And they've learned from those examples. Rather than repeating those mistakes, they'd rather wait for the right person. In other words, they'd rather be single than settle. However, this high standard can sometimes be misunderstood. To others, it may appear that they are too picky or hard to please. But in reality, they are simply careful about where they invest their love and energy. This cautious approach protects them, but it also isolates them. While some people date casually just for fun or for the sake of companionship, intelligent men view relationships as a serious commitment. They are looking for a partner who can walk beside them, challenge them intellectually, and grow with them over time. The challenge is that today's dating world often rewards speed and instant gratification. Many people want quick validation rather than genuine connection. This creates a mismatch for intelligent men who move more deliberately. They want to truly get to know someone before giving their heart, which can be seen as slow or hesitant by those who are used to faster-paced relationships. This difference in approach can lead to frustration and misunderstandings, leaving them feeling like outsiders in the dating scene. Moreover, when an intelligent man has high standards, he also applies those same standards to himself. He expects to continuously grow, to keep learning, to evolve as a partner and as an individual. This self-imposed pressure can make him feel like he must reach a certain point in life before he is ready for a relationship. As a result, he may delay dating or hold back emotionally, believing that he has to be at his absolute best before committing to someone. In many ways, this is admirable. It shows accountability and responsibility, but it can also backfire by keeping him isolated for too long. The very traits that make him a strong, desirable partner, self-awareness, discipline, and discernment, can also become barriers that prevent him from taking chances in love. Ultimately, intelligent men remain single because they are not interested in just anyone. They are searching for someone who truly aligns with their values, dreams, and vision of the future. Until they find that level of compatibility, they would rather walk alone than compromise their standards. In their minds, solitude is preferable to a relationship that lacks meaning or depth. Another profound reason why many intelligent men remain single is their intense focus on personal growth and life purpose. Intelligent men are often deeply driven individuals. They have big visions for their future. And they don't just dream about success, they actively work towards it every single day. Whether it's building a career, mastering a skill, launching a business, or striving for financial independence, their minds are constantly occupied with creating a meaningful life. This level of focus requires a significant investment of time, energy, and emotional bandwidth. When an intelligent man is in the midst of chasing his goals, he often finds himself prioritizing his mission above everything else, including relationships. It's not that he doesn't desire companionship or intimacy, he does. But he understands that without building a solid foundation for himself first, he cannot offer stability or true leadership in a relationship. So rather than dividing his attention, he chooses to channel it entirely into becoming the best version of himself. For many intelligent men, this isn't about selfishness, it's about responsibility. They are acutely aware that relationships come with commitments and sacrifices. Being in a relationship means showing up consistently, being emotionally present, and investing time and effort into another person's well-being. If they feel they can't give their partner the attention she deserves, they would rather remain single than offer only half of themselves. This mindset is rooted in integrity and self-awareness. Furthermore, intelligent men tend to view life through a long-term lens. They don't just think about today, they consider where they will be 5, 10, or even 20 years from now. They ask themselves questions like, who do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to create? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These big picture thoughts drive their daily decisions and actions. As a result, they sometimes put relationships on hold, believing that once they've achieved a certain level of personal growth, they'll be in a better position to commit fully. This intense focus can also lead to misunderstandings. From the outside, it may seem like they're emotionally unavailable or uninterested in love. Friends, family, or even potential partners might assume they're cold, detached, or unwilling to connect. But the truth is, they're deeply passionate individuals whose minds are simply consumed by their mission. Their silence or distance is not rejection. It's a reflection of how seriously they take both their goals and their future relationships. Additionally, today's world is filled with distractions and instant gratification. Many people seek constant attention, validation, quick emotional highs. Intelligent men, however, often reject this way of living. They understand that true success and fulfillment require delayed gratification and discipline. This means saying no to casual flings or shallow relationships that might momentarily satisfy their emotional needs, but ultimately derail their long-term vision. Another key factor is that intelligent men often face internal battles as they grow. Personal development is not a smooth, easy road. It comes with failures, setbacks, self-doubt, and moments of deep reflection. During these challenging times, they may retreat inward, preferring solitude as they work through their struggles. Relationships, which require vulnerability and emotional sharing, can feel overwhelming when they're already fighting internal wars. Being single allows them the space to process their growth without the added pressure of meeting someone else's emotional needs. Interestingly, this focus on personal growth often makes them more attractive to others. People admire their ambition, discipline, and clarity of purpose. However, admiration alone is not enough to create a lasting relationship. Intelligent men know that true compatibility requires more than surface-level attraction. It requires alignment of values and support for each other's journeys. If they sense that a potential partner doesn't truly understand or respect their path, they will distance themselves rather than compromise their purpose. Ultimately, for many intelligent men, being single is a conscious choice rather than a consequence of rejection. They aren't lonely or bitter about their status. They see it as a period of preparation. By pouring themselves into their growth and mission, they're laying the groundwork for a future relationship that's built on strength and stability. They believe that when the right partner comes along, she will not only accept their focus but also complement it, creating a powerful partnership where both individuals thrive. In their minds, love should enhance their journey, not distract from it. Until they find that rare connection, they're willing to walk alone, knowing that the work they do today will shape not only their future, but also the quality of the love they eventually share. One of the most fascinating yet challenging traits of intelligent men is their tendency to overthink. This analytical mindset serves them well in many areas of life: problem solving, decision making, career planning. But when it comes to relationships, it can create barriers that keep them single for much longer than they'd like. Intelligent men don't just feel emotions, they dissect them. They don't simply experience situations, they analyze every detail, every word, every action, searching for meaning, patterns, and potential outcomes. When an intelligent man meets someone he's interested in, his mind often doesn't allow him to just enjoy the moment. Instead of simply feeling attraction and letting things develop naturally, he starts running scenarios in his head. Is she really into me? Or is she just being polite? What are her intentions? Does she share my values? Could this work long term? Or will it fall apart in a few months? These questions don't stop at the first date. They continue throughout the entire relationship process. This constant analysis can lead to hesitation, while others might act spontaneously and let their hearts guide them. An intelligent man often pauses, evaluates, and rethinks his moves. This can make him appear distant, slow to commit, or even uninterested, when in reality, he's deeply interested. He's just busy trying to predict every possible outcome to avoid making a mistake. His fear of failure or heartbreak pushes him to overanalyze rather than take bold, decisive action. The root of this behavior lies in the way intelligent men process the world. Their minds are wired to seek understanding and control. In their careers or personal projects, this serves them well. They can anticipate problems before they occur, create strategies, achieve impressive results. But relationships are unpredictable. Love is not a mathematical equation, and people's feelings cannot be fully measured or controlled. This uncertainty creates tension for intelligent men who crave clarity and logic in situations where neither fully exists. For example, if a woman doesn't respond to a message right away, a typical person might shrug it off. But an intelligent man may spiral into overthinking. Did I say something wrong? Is she upset with me? Is she losing interest? Should I message her again or wait? If I wait, will she think I don't care? What could have been a simple moment of patience turns into a mental battlefield, causing stress and anxiety that ultimately drain his energy and enthusiasm for dating. Over time, this pattern can make relationships feel exhausting. Instead of feeling like a source of joy and connection, dating begins to feel like a complex puzzle he can't solve. He might even convince himself that staying single is easier than navigating the uncertainty and emotional chaos of love. Additionally, overthinking can cause intelligent men to miss opportunities. While they're busy analyzing whether someone is the right partner, others are taking action. A woman who might have been interested in him could lose patience or assume he isn't interested simply because he's taking too long to make a move. By the time he finally decides to express his feelings, it may be too late. This leads to regret, reinforcing his belief that relationships are difficult and unpredictable. Another challenge is that overthinking can create unrealistic expectations, because he spends so much time imagining what an ideal relationship should look like. Real-life connections can feel disappointing by comparison. If a partner doesn't meet the mental image he's created, he may become overly critical or hesitant to fully commit. This perfectionism, fueled by constant analysis, prevents him from appreciating the natural imperfections that come with being human. What makes this particularly difficult is that intelligent men are usually self-aware. They know they're overthinking, and they often try to stop themselves, but it's not easy to silence a mind that's used to constant activity. Their intelligence, which helps them excel in other areas of life, becomes a double-edged sword in love. Interestingly, many intelligent men aren't afraid of being single. They're afraid of being with the wrong person. Their analytical minds see the potential for emotional pain, wasted time, or misaligned futures, and they'd rather endure solitude than risk a destructive relationship. So they stay single, convincing themselves that it's a rational, safe choice. While this mindset protects them, it also isolates them. They miss out on the growth and joy that comes from experiencing love in all its messy and unpredictable beauty. Their overthinking builds walls, and while those walls keep danger out, they also keep love from fully getting in. In the end, it's not a lack of desire that keeps these men single. It's their deep need to understand, predict, and control a process that was never meant to be entirely logical. Love requires a leap of faith, but for an intelligent man, that leap feels like stepping into the unknown without a map. And until he learns to quiet his mind and trust his heart, he will often choose the safety of solitude over the vulnerability of connection. Another powerful reason why so many intelligent men remain single is because they often feel misunderstood and isolated. The mind of an intelligent man works differently than most. His thoughts run deeper, his perspective stretches further, and his ideas often challenge the norms that others take for granted. While this depth of thinking is a gift, it can also create a sense of separation from those around him. He may find it difficult to relate to people who don't share his level of awareness, curiosity, or vision. From an early age, many intelligent men notice that they see the world differently. While others are content with surface-level conversations, they crave depth and meaning. They want to talk about life's bigger questions, explore complex ideas, and connect with others on a profound intellectual and emotional level. Unfortunately, such connections are rare. In many social settings, they might feel like outsiders, smiling politely while their minds wander to deeper subjects. This mismatch creates a feeling of loneliness even when surrounded by people. When it comes to relationships, this sense of being misunderstood becomes even more pronounced. Romantic connections require mutual understanding and shared values. But for intelligent men, finding someone who truly gets them can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. They might meet someone who is physically attractive or fun to be around, but if the emotional or intellectual connection is missing, the relationship feels empty. They don't just want a partner who is present, they want someone who resonates with their inner world. This need for true understanding is often mistaken by others as being too picky or unrealistic. Friends or family may urge them to lower their standards or just give someone a chance. But to the intelligent man, settling for someone who doesn't understand his depth feels like betraying himself. Rather than forcing a connection, he would rather wait, no matter how long it takes, to find a partner who truly sees him. The problem is that this waiting game can be isolating. The longer he goes without finding someone who understands him, the more he begins to question whether such a person even exists. Over time, this can create a protective barrier. He may become guarded, cautious, or emotionally distant, not out of arrogance, but out of self-preservation. If he has been misunderstood or rejected in the past for being too intense, too serious, or too different, he learns to hide parts of himself. This self-protection can backfire. By holding back, he unintentionally makes it harder for others to connect with him. Potential partners may misinterpret his quietness as disinterest or coldness, when in reality, he is simply afraid of opening up and being misunderstood again. It's a painful cycle. He craves deep connection. But his fear of rejection keeps him from showing his true self, which in turn prevents others from truly seeing him. modern dating culture only adds to this challenge. Today's relationships are often built on appearances, quick judgments, and instant gratification. Social media and dating apps encourage superficial evaluations, like swipes and brief text exchanges for an intelligent man seeking something real. This environment feels frustrating and empty. He longs for a relationship built on authenticity and understanding, but the modern dating scene rarely provides the depth he craves. Additionally, intelligent men often have unconventional ideas or passions that not everyone understands. They might be deeply invested in topics that others find boring or strange. For example, he could be passionate about philosophy, technology, art, or global issues, only to find that potential partners can't relate to his interests. When he shares his thoughts and receives blank stares or dismissive comments, he feels even more alone. This repeated experience reinforces his belief that he is fundamentally different from those around him. This feeling of differentness can make intelligent men reluctant to fully engage in the dating world. Instead of risking more misunderstandings and disappointments, they retreat into their work, hobbies, or inner world. Solitude feels safer than navigating a sea of shallow connections and unmet expectations. Yet, deep down, they still yearn for someone who will truly see and accept them. They want a partner who can look past the surface, who can sit with them in silence and understand the unspoken, who can engage in meaningful conversations and share in their dreams. Until they find that rare person, they choose to remain single, not because they don't believe in love, but because they believe in a deeper kind of love than most people are willing or able to offer. For an intelligent man, being misunderstood is not just inconvenient, it's deeply painful. It's not about arrogance or superiority. It's about the basic human need to be seen and valued for who you truly are. And until that need is met, he would rather walk alone than pretend to be someone he's not, just to fit into a relationship that doesn't feel authentic. One of the most overlooked yet powerful reasons why many intelligent men remain single is the nature of the modern dating landscape itself. Today's dating world has evolved drastically compared to the past. Relationships used to be built on shared values, patience, and genuine connection. Now, dating has become faster, more transactional, and often driven by appearances rather than substance. For intelligent men who crave depth and authenticity, this environment can feel frustrating and alienating, making them hesitant to fully engage. Modern dating is dominated by technology, dating apps, social media, and online platforms. On the surface, these tools seem to make it easier to meet people. However, for someone who values meaningful connection, they often create more problems than solutions. Swiping left or right based on a few photos and a short bio encourages superficial judgments. An intelligent man who looks beyond appearances and pays attention to character, values, and long-term compatibility may find this approach shallow and unfulfilling. He doesn't just want someone who looks good in a picture or says the right things in a brief chat. He wants someone whose actions align with their words, someone whose life direction harmonizes with his own. Unfortunately, in a world where instant gratification reigns, patience and sincerity are rare commodities. Many people move quickly, jumping from one connection to another without taking the time to truly know someone. For the intelligent man, this constant rush feels exhausting and meaningless. This fast-paced dating culture can also breed mistrust. When relationships form and end so quickly, it's hard to know who is truly genuine. Intelligent men, who tend to be highly observant, pick up on subtle signs of dishonesty or inconsistency. If someone's behavior doesn't match their words, they notice. If a person's intentions seem unclear, they become cautious. Over time, repeated encounters with shallow or dishonest individuals can lead them to withdraw altogether, convinced that meaningful love is nearly impossible to find in today's world. Another challenge intelligent men face is the abundance of options. Ironically, having too many choices can make it harder to commit, with endless profiles to scroll through. Many people develop a grass is greener mentality, always wondering if there's someone better out there. Intelligent men are not immune to this societal shift. Even if they meet someone they like, they might hesitate to fully invest, fearing that they could be settling too soon. This hesitation doesn't necessarily mean they don't care. It's a reflection of the overwhelming pressure created by a culture of endless options. This ties directly into a common issue: fear of commitment. For many intelligent men, commitment is not something to take lightly. They don't see relationships as temporary arrangements. They see them as life-changing partnerships that require time, effort, and emotional investment. The idea of committing to someone who might not truly align with them feels like a huge risk. Their analytical minds amplify this fear. They think ahead, imagining every possible scenario of what could go wrong: financial struggles, emotional incompatibility, infidelity, or even divorce. These thoughts can be paralyzing. Instead of focusing on the joy of building a relationship, they get stuck on the potential pain of it falling apart. In this way, their intelligence, which helps them in other areas of life, becomes a stumbling block in love. Many intelligent men have also witnessed the consequences of failed relationships firsthand. They may have seen friends go through messy breakups, or perhaps they've experienced heartbreak themselves. These memories stay with them, making them more guarded. Their fear of repeating those painful experiences leads them to approach love with extreme caution, or to avoid it altogether. Adding to this complexity is the shift in traditional relationship roles. In the past, the expectations for men and women were clearer, but today, the landscape is more fluid. While this can be positive, it also creates uncertainty. Intelligent men who value structure and clarity may struggle to navigate these changing dynamics. They might question what's expected of them as a partner, or worry about being misunderstood in a world where social norms are constantly evolving. Because of all these factors, superficial connections, mistrust, overwhelming options, and fear of emotional pain, many intelligent men choose to stay single by default. They see solitude as safer than navigating a dating culture that feels unstable and unpredictable. To them, being alone offers peace and control. While relationships feel risky and chaotic, this doesn't mean they've given up on love entirely. Deep down, they still desire connection. But until they find someone who truly matches their depth and values, they'd rather wait than compromise. They want a partner who understands that commitment is not just about being together, but about growing together, facing life's challenges as a team. In the modern world, where temporary flings are celebrated and deep relationships are rare, their mindset often sets them apart. It makes them appear hesitant or unavailable when in reality they are simply holding out for something real. This cautious approach protects their hearts, but it also leaves them walking a lonely path, misunderstood by those who can't see the depth of their intentions. One of the most overlooked yet powerful reasons why many intelligent men remain single is the nature of the modern dating landscape itself. Today's dating world has evolved drastically compared to the past. Relationships used to be built on shared values, patience, and genuine connection. Now, dating has become faster, more transactional, and often driven by appearances rather than substance. For intelligent men who crave depth and authenticity, this environment can feel frustrating and alienating, making them hesitant to fully engage. Modern dating is dominated by technology, dating apps, social media, and online platforms. On the surface, these tools seem to make it easier to meet people. However, for someone who values meaningful connection, they often create more problems than solutions. Swiping left or right based on a few photos and a short bio encourages superficial judgments. An intelligent man who looks beyond appearances and pays attention to character, values, long-term compatibility may find this approach shallow and unfulfilling. He doesn't just want someone who looks good in a picture or says the right things in a brief chat. He wants someone whose actions align with their words, someone whose life direction harmonizes with his own. Unfortunately, In a world where instant gratification reigns, patience and sincerity are rare commodities. Many people move quickly, jumping from one connection to another without taking the time to truly know someone. For the intelligent man, this constant rush feels exhausting and meaningless. This fast-paced dating culture can also breed mistrust. When relationships form and end so quickly, it's hard to know who is truly genuine. Intelligent men, who tend to be highly observant, pick up on subtle signs of dishonesty or inconsistency. If someone's behavior doesn't match their words, they notice. If a person's intentions seem unclear, they become cautious. Over time, repeated encounters with shallow or dishonest individuals can lead them to withdraw altogether. Convinced that meaningful love is nearly impossible to find in today's world, another challenge intelligent men face is the abundance of options. Ironically, having too many choices can make it harder to commit. With endless profiles to scroll through, many people develop a grass is greener mentality, always wondering if there's someone better out there. Intelligent men are not immune to this societal shift. Even if they meet someone they like, they might hesitate to fully invest, fearing that they could be settling too soon. This hesitation doesn't necessarily mean they don't care. It's a reflection of the overwhelming pressure created by a culture of endless options. This ties directly into a common issue, fear of commitment. For many intelligent men, commitment is not something to take lightly. They don't see relationships as temporary arrangements. They see them as life-changing partnerships that require time, effort, and emotional investment. The idea of committing to someone who might not truly align with them feels like a huge risk. Their analytical minds amplify this fear. They think ahead, imagining every possible scenario of what could go wrong: financial struggles, emotional incompatibility, infidelity, or even divorce. These thoughts can be paralyzing. Instead of focusing on the joy of building a relationship, they get stuck on the potential pain of it falling apart. In this way, their intelligence, which helps them in other areas of life, becomes a stumbling block in love. Many intelligent men have also witnessed the consequences of failed relationships firsthand. They may have seen friends go through messy breakups, or perhaps they've experienced heartbreak themselves. These memories stay with them, making them more guarded. Their fear of repeating those painful experiences leads them to approach love with extreme caution or to avoid it altogether. Adding to this complexity is the shift in traditional relationship roles. In the past, the expectations for men and women were clearer, but today, the landscape is more fluid. While this can be positive, it also creates uncertainty. Intelligent men who value structure and clarity may struggle to navigate these changing dynamics. They might question what's expected of them as a partner, or worry about being misunderstood in a world where social norms are constantly evolving. Because of all these factors, superficial connections, mistrust, overwhelming options, fear of emotional pain, many intelligent men choose to stay single by default. They see solitude as safer than navigating a dating culture that feels unstable and unpredictable. To them, being alone offers peace and control. While relationships feel risky and chaotic, this doesn't mean they've given up on love entirely. Deep down, they still desire connection. But until they find someone who truly matches their depth and values, they'd rather wait than compromise. They want a partner who understands that commitment is not just about being together, but about growing together, facing life's challenges as a team. In the modern world, where temporary flings are celebrated and deep relationships are rare, their mindset often sets them apart. It makes them appear hesitant or unavailable when in reality they are simply holding out for something real. This cautious approach protects their hearts, but it also leaves them walking a lonely path, misunderstood by those who can't see the depth of their intentions. One of the most profound reasons why so many intelligent men remain single is their deep desire for an authentic connection rather than settling for surface, level, or casual relationships. Intelligent men are not driven solely by physical attraction or the temporary excitement that comes with new romance. They seek something far more meaningful, partnerships built on trust, depth, shared values, and genuine emotional intimacy. For them, love is not about having someone to pass the time with. It's about finding someone who truly understands and aligns with who they are at their core. In today's world, this longing for authenticity can be incredibly difficult to satisfy. Modern dating culture often glorifies the opposite: instant gratification, casual encounters, and fleeting connections. Many people prioritize excitement over stability and appearances over substance. In this environment, intelligent men often feel out of place. They don't want to play games, send mixed signals, or compete for attention in a shallow, fast-paced dating scene. They crave honesty and realness, but in a culture dominated by pretense and performance. Finding that can feel almost impossible. When an intelligent man enters a relationship, he does so with intention. He isn't interested in being with someone just to avoid loneliness. If he chooses to share his life with a partner, it's because he sees the potential for something lasting and transformative. This intentional approach makes him cautious about who he lets into his world. While others might date casually just to see what happens, he carefully evaluates whether a person's character, dreams, and values are in harmony with his own. This mindset often makes him appear distant or slow to commit. To others, it may seem like he's overly reserved or afraid of love. In reality, he's simply unwilling to give his heart to someone who doesn't truly deserve it. He knows the pain that comes from investing in the wrong relationship, and he refuses to go through it again. This is especially true if he has experienced betrayal or deep heartbreak in the past. Once an intelligent man has been wounded, he becomes even more selective, guarding his heart like a precious treasure. This desire for authenticity also means he's uninterested in shallow displays of affection. Many relationships today are built on external validation, romantic gestures meant for social media, picture perfect moments shared online, and appearances that suggest happiness rather than genuine intimacy. Intelligent men see through these facades. They understand that real love happens in private moments, in honest conversations, and in mutual vulnerability. They are looking for someone who values substance over show, someone who will be just as committed behind closed doors as they are in public. Because of this, intelligent men are often misunderstood. Potential partners may mistake their depth for aloofness, interpreting their caution as lack of interest. In truth, they are deeply passionate and loyal, but they reserve those qualities for the right person. This can lead to frustration on both sides. The woman may feel rejected, while the man feels unseen and misunderstood. Another factor is that intelligent men often have a strong sense of self. They are usually clear about who they are, what they believe, and what they want from life. This self-awareness makes them resistant to relationships that feel transactional or superficial. They don't need someone to complete them or give their life meaning. They already have purpose and direction. Instead, they want a partner who complements them, someone who can stand beside them as an equal. This clarity can be intimidating to some. Not everyone is ready for the depth and commitment that an intelligent man brings to a relationship. Some people may prefer lighter, less demanding connections, which creates a natural mismatch, rather than lowering his standards or pretending to want something casual. The intelligent man chooses to stay single, believing that solitude is better than compromising his values. Ironically, this very desire for authenticity often makes him even more attractive. People are drawn to his sincerity and strength, sensing that he offers a type of love that is rare in today's world. However, being admired is not enough for him. He is not interested in being idealized or placed on a pedestal. He wants to be truly known and loved for who he is, flaws and all. This search for depth often requires time and patience. Genuine connections don't happen overnight, and intelligent men understand this. They are willing to wait for the right person rather than rush into a relationship just to satisfy temporary desires. While this waiting period can sometimes feel lonely, they see it as a necessary part of their journey. For the intelligent man, love is sacred. It's not just about romance or companionship. It's about growth, partnership, and creating something meaningful together. Until he finds someone who shares that vision, he would rather walk his path alone. To him, solitude is not a curse but a choice, a way of preserving his energy and protecting his heart until the day he meets someone who can match his depth and authenticity. In a world filled with fleeting attractions and shallow connections, his standards may seem high, even unrealistic. But for the intelligent man, love is not about settling. It's about finding a true partner, someone who sees him clearly and stands beside him through every challenge and triumph. And until he finds that rare connection, he will remain single, holding out for a love that is real, profound, and deeply authentic.